All right, hopefully third time's a charm. Hello, everybody. My name is Gage. It's been a very long time since I've made a YouTube video. Been doing a lot of gaming and stuff like that. Just haven't done a lot of social media content in terms of streaming and YouTube, just because, quite frankly, I haven't had the time to be able to sit down and dedicate time to giving into the stream and stuff like that. So, hopefully, going to be doing some more of that at some point here, but we'll see. Today's May 7th. The second trailer for Grand Theft Auto 6 came out either yesterday or the day before, and there's been a lot of posts online, people kind of talking about it. So I'm very excited for the game. I figured I'd hop in here and kind of give my reaction to it. But one thing I wanted to bring up first, which I don't have, of course, any evidence to show this, but I'd seen another video the other day, a post that was on Reddit that was from, quote, a developer at Rockstar Games, who basically said in the gist of the post that the game is actually, in terms of the campaign, is 100% complete. That the campaign is 100% done, playable, and everything, and that the reason for this delay is specifically for Rockstar to get the online portion done and ready for release of the game, so that everything is playable when they release the game to us. Now, if we remember, Grand Theft Auto 5 came out 12 years ago at this point, or almost 12 years ago with today's date. And I remember when it came out, we got the campaign after a delay. So, we've experienced delays of many Rockstar games before. Grand Theft Auto 5, Red Dead Redemption 2, I believe, was delayed. And I'm sure there's plenty of others to name in there, too. So delays are not always a bad thing. And quite frankly, I'm glad that Rockstar is doing this because they're worried about the experience that we are going to get out of the box from the game, because they know that Grand Theft Auto 6 has the hype that it needs to live up to, and they want to make sure that it lives up to that hype. So I fully respect them for what they're doing. Obviously, yes, just like everybody else, I'm disappointed that we're not going to have the game to play for just slightly over another year. However, the one thing that I am excited for is the fact that they've given us a date. So unless something goes completely wrong, we have the date for when the game is coming out, May 26th, 2026. So a little over a year to the date from today. So we have that to look forward to. I also heard another post that, we very well could get a situation where they bump up the release date if they get all of this done, to kind of do a surprise drop. Someone said they did that with Borderlands 2, or whatever the newest Borderlands may be. If that is the case, I'm excited for that. I hope that that's definitely a possibility for us. If they've done it once, I'm sure they can do it again. But it obviously can go both ways too. But I'm glad that Rockstar is, giving us the trueness of what they're doing and why they're doing it, and meaning that, if the game is not ready, they're not going to give it to us not ready, and they want us to be able to experience the game 100% of the way that it's meant to be, rather than the 75% or 50% that the single player is, and then the other 25 or 50% that the online portion is at a separate time. They want us to be able to experience the game entirely how it's meant to be right out of the box, and not have to wait for anything else for experiencing, the game down the road. So with the post that I saw the other day claiming the campaign is completely done, whether it's the truth or not, I don't know. And I don't really have any evidence to show you now, but it was a Reddit post, and it was actually posted in another GTA 6 trailer overview video that I saw posted the other day, basically discussing, that the campaign is 100% done, and that the delay is specifically for the online portion. I don't know if it's true. I don't know if that's all fluff, someone who's claiming to be a developer for Rockstar. I don't know, and we probably never will. But either way, the fact that they're delaying it shows that they care, in my opinion, and that they want the game to be as good as it can possibly be right out of the gate. And not have a Cyberpunk situation on their hands where the game either A, not be playable, B, just simply not enjoyable, or anything else that can cause issues down the road. So enough of me blabbering here. We're going to go into the trailer. I'm going to stop the trailer as we go through here and kind of point out things that I have seen myself, and that I've kind of mentioned, or that I've seen and noticed in the trailer, kind of what I think it might mean, what it relates to, and I'll also bring up a couple things that I've heard other people mention too in the other overviews that I've watched. I just figured I'd give my take here. So let's get started. So I'm going to back it up here because I missed my pause point. So this is the first scene we get out of the trailer. And I'm very excited for just seeing what we're seeing already. So when I look at this, I see, a ton of detail that they have put into how the map is going to look and feel. You can tell that there's been, human process in every single one of these areas, in all of the individual houses and all of the shrubbery. I'll use my mouse here, I guess, to kind of show it off. But, as you look over this, there's not a single area that looks like it was copy pasted from one section over to another. The detail is phenomenal. You've got, already we've got 1-2 boats there. We've got the blimp over here. We've got a couple jet skis sitting over here. So I'm already getting the feel that there's going to be a lot more AI than what we have seen in any other Grand Theft Auto game to date. And I think that with the first trailer, that was pretty well shown as well. I just think that it's going to feel that next level of realism in Grand Theft Auto 6 compared to 5 and all of the ones before. Because that is one thing that I feel like Rockstar has put a lot of emphasis on, is that they want to have the best possible experience that they can out of this game and make it feel as real as possible. I don't know what the mechanics may look like as we get into the game for those real feelings, but we'll find out. So, the boats and stuff here already are great. We're seeing wildlife already. I mean, you've got tons of birds. I mean, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe 8 or 9 birds here. There's more over here. Absolutely tons of wildlife already shown just in this first scene, which is significantly more than I think we've ever seen in any other Grand Theft Auto game. We've got what looks to be some sort of an animal down here in the water, and it already just gives that very alive feeling in the game with the detail. The clouds, the scenery, animals, all of those things are going to play into how real the game feels, and the true player experience that I think we get out of it. So next thing here, you can see we've got more of a classic car sitting here over on the right, and we've got a Vapid, I forget which model this is, but a Vapid car sitting right here, kind of designed off what looks to be an El Camino. We've got an iguana here in the scene. So again, there's that wildlife, that true feel, kind of that Florida vibe that it sounds like they're giving us in the game is really coming to life in the game now, rather than, maybe the world feeling kind of empty without that wildlife and people and scenery as a whole.
What you doing up there?
So
I'm just fixing some leaks. Seriously, dude, you got...
So the line there, he asks him what he's doing up there. I'll replay it here.
I'm just fixing some leaks.
And he says, just fixing some leaks. So this was something that I actually heard from another video I watched the other day that I thought was a really good point that they picked out. There's been a lot of leaks that have happened with the Grand Theft Auto 6 game over the last few years. A lot of leaks, a lot of speculations. And I think that with all of the chatter that has happened since, we knew GTA 6 was in the works from, then to the first trailer dropping up until now, being that it's been almost a year and a half since we got that first trailer, because I believe it was December of 2023 that we got that first trailer. This is Rockstar, coming out, making a statement, showing us that the game is going to be what it's hyped up for, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Seriously, dude, you got some time on your hands. I got some properties with paying tenants.
Oh, that's what.
So that line there, he talks about he's got that Jason has some time on his hands and that he's got some properties and tenants to take care of. So this guy here, I don't remember his name off the top of my head, but the vibe I'm getting from it is that he is Jason's boss, or that Jason works from him. and that Jason is either a handyman or just does a lot of small job projects for this guy, whether it's, you know, just the properties, or we may find out it's something else as well, more on the illegal side.
Tenants,
Oh, that's why you came by?
just go get me my checks.
So yeah, right there he talks about going to get him his checks, and that was the only reason he stopped by. So Jason obviously is doing some sort of work for him. Now, whether that's, you know, a full-time job or a side gig, we don't know that yet, and I'm sure we'll find that out as the story progresses. And something else here that I wanted to talk about was, again, just that lively feel of the map. So, like, we have trash bins sitting out. We have what looks to be an old, possibly broken down car. You know, these oil cans, all of the shrubbery, you know, the trees, just, it feels very natural, and it doesn't feel like we're in a, you know, game setting. Like, it feels very real, especially for this being set in Florida. You know, the dumpster, something that I, you know, don't recall seeing a whole lot of, if any of, in any other Grand Theft Auto game. So with just that real feel is already there in this trailer.
See you, Brian.
So
Love you,
Brian,
Jason.
that's who that is. So going through here, Jason's driving down the road. Obviously, we've got some music playing. I'm not sure what song that is, but giving us a little bit of taste, I believe, of what we're going to expect as we get the game and find out, you know, what is all in there. A couple things that I noticed here is that, again, you know, he's driving and we're getting a very, you know, lively feel. If you take a look, you know, the watch and the reflection, the mirror reflections, the window reflections, you know, everything feels that next level of real in this trailer, at least, which is just going to bring that more, you know, involved feeling where you're actually in the world as we're playing the game, which I'm very, very excited for. So obviously he gets recognized by whoever that lady is there. It looks like we have some pink paw prints on the front hood. I'm not sure what kind of car this is. That looks like it might be modeled after some sort of Mitsubishi. So already beginning to show off the different levels of vehicles and stuff like that are going to be in the game. And it sounds like Jason is somewhat well known to a lot of people in the community already, just based off of the person yelling his name out as he drives down the road. So if I go back here real quick. So Jason shows up obviously for money or something by the looks of it. You know, we've got a cash register here. It looks like we've got a couple screens. The detail, again, is what we're noticing the most here, I believe. And, you know, look down to the buttons on the individual register, you know, these screens, if those screens function, you know, as they're, you know, doing things on the register, just all of that level of detail shows how much work Rockstar is putting into this. And I'm very, very excited for it. We've got a lot of bracelets here on his arm, the tattoos. Doe Dog Rising, maybe is what that says. Not sure what that's referring to. We've got Jason's tank top there. And it looks like he's here to get some sort of money or collection of payment or whatever it may be for his boss. And actually, too, something I just noticed that I did not notice until I paused this here. There's a sign up here that says alien activity in area. There's been a lot of, you know, alien speculation. It's like that with the last GTA games, mainly 5, if I remember correctly. So if we see something like that in GTA 6, that would be awesome. I'd love to see something like that. Postcards over here for $1, more wall art. So we'll keep going here. And again, you know, there's that detail on the register I was talking about. So, you know, it's very, very based off of real, you know, what registers would look like. The detail on the money, you know, you got 1, 10s, 20s, and it looks like 50s in the till there. Everything looks very, very detailed. He's got a watch on his hand. If that updates with the actual in-game time, that'll be fantastic. Just, you know, all of the detail things are what I'm really noticing as I've been watching through the trailer here. Another thing here that I see, you know, we've got this guy back here laying on the carpet. Seems to be passed out. I don't know if this is a bong or what this may be here, but, you know, we've got a little card over here for $4.20. We've got a lighter, so we don't know, you know, if maybe he's high or drunk, or, you know, if maybe Jason knocked him out when he came to get the money. That's something we don't know, but just something that I thought I'd throw out there. This next one here we go to, you can see we've got multiple road signs here. We've got the airport, we've got downtown, we've got different interstates labeled, we've got different highways labeled. We've got this exit sign here for Peacock Bay, the south side. We've got a plane up here. We've got quite a few different buildings already on the horizon that just we can see from this scene. The vehicle details are looking fantastic. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, if you include his vehicles, different vehicles here in this shot specifically. This one here seems to be pulling some sort of a jet ski. So, you know, that real feel again is the biggest thing that I'm noticing in this trailer, making it feel like, you know, a real place you would go to and visit, and you're seeing what you would actually see. We've also got the trees over here looking very lively, as well as we've got the construction workers over here. You know, they've got their safety vests on. Looks like they're doing, you know, lawn work or grass work, basically in between the interstate or the highway here, giving it that very real vibe. Got the plane flying over here, so you know there was one, and there's one over here behind the signs as well. You got birds flying in the air, so again, you know, just that very heavy populated area is the feeling that I think Rockstar is going for, and it is really going to make a GTA game feel alive based off of, you know, what is in the world that we run around in for probably hundreds or thousands of hours over the next how many years. So next step here, or next scene here, we've got Jason lifting weights on the beach, it looks like. You know, there was weight equipment in Grand Theft Auto 5, was not able to be used though. Unlike, you know, San Andreas, you know, you could go and lift weights and you could go and actually eat food and it would change how your character appeared. And there were different health stats and stuff like that for it. So if that's something that they're bringing back to Grand Theft Auto 6, one of those things that is still just going to make it feel even more real than Grand Theft Auto ever has before. Another thing over here is you'll notice we've got very different clothing selections. That is one thing that I noticed looking through the trailer is everybody feels different. It doesn't feel like we're seeing the same, you know, NPCs copied and pasted in different areas. We're getting the very alive feeling. You can see, you know, his shoes have dirt and stuff on them here. If you take a look when they're walking, I'll back this up here just a smidge. You know, the sand has, you know, it's kicking up little pieces of sand. They're leaving footprints in the sand. Everything just feels that next level. You could see there too, I'll back it up here. The lady walking back behind Jason here got a dog with her. So I think we're going to see a lot more, you know, pets, wildlife, and just random other living things rather than just people, which is something we really haven't had a lot of in Grand Theft Auto games before. So here you can see we've got a sign for the Leonida Lottery, a new billionaire every week, it says. So whether that's something that we can participate in the game, we'll just have to find that out. We've got Leonida Marine Center here. We support all marine life. So whether that's, you know, an aquarium or, you know, boats, whatever that may be, looks like a place we'll be able to visit in the game. You've got a cat over here sitting on top of the ATM, which is something that, you know, just again adds to that real feel. The detail between the fruits and vegetables in the crates here, the beer bottles, you can see there's like carbonation in the bottles that is moving around where you get that very realistic taste essentially. So, you know, signs here, Redwood Cigarettes, I believe that's a brand we've seen before. Patriot Beer, maybe a brand we've seen before. I'm not sure off the top of my head with that one. And again, just that real feel, like the attention customer sign, you know, for alcoholic beverages, you know, not drinking out in public. Looks like we've got a Wi-Fi sign, maybe a different forms of payment here that are accepted. Just adding to that realistic feel. We've got a sign here for, I can't tell what that says, but it looks like some sort of a lager beer here they're advertising for. So a couple different brands that we're already seeing just in this trailer alone. And if we see that with just the alcohol, you know, it's going to be something that we see, I think, more and more throughout different types of items and stuff like that in the game. Looks like maybe a homeless guy out here, maybe getting ready to ask for some money, cup in his hand, long hair, long beard. Again, just the details. So looks like we have some sort of a police stop here. Not sure what was going on, but we've got no video without permission. So for some reason, you're not allowed to film here in this area. I'm not sure what that is. I'm sure we may or may not find out in the game. We've got a couple different varieties of law enforcement vehicles here that you can see. This one looks like police. This one may be like a sheriff or some other sort of agency. And we've also got something too that if we go through here, we've got, 1, 2, 3, 4, at least 5 different officers just right here in this scene. So I think that we're going to get a lot more realistic police feeling as the game progresses. Looks like this is some sort of a memoriam or something for these 2 people. Not sure who they are. We may or may not find out. Another thing here, we've got I don't know if you could see it there. We've got a female officer. I think that may be the first time we've seen that in Grand Theft Auto. So again, just adding to the realistic feel in the world as we play through it. Trying to see here if we can see any detail on this car.
I'm here for Lucia Caminos.
Yeah, I can't tell what it says, but obviously some sort of like an undercover unit or something. And even more cops back here. Looks like talking to these people who were sitting on the car. Looks like the car may be covered up with some sort of tarp or something. So whether it's been a vehicle that's been associated with a crime or, just a broken down car that's sitting on the side of the road, we'll come to find out, I'm sure.
I'm here for Lucia Caminos. She's supposed to be getting out.
So Jason's here to see Lucia in the prison. Sounds like today's her release day. Again, just the detail here. The no weapons. You can see just kind of the dirtiness and the rundown parts of the area here, the prison, and then.
What's your name?
Jason Duval.
I've seen you here before.
So here he asks Jason if he's seen him here before. Could be hinting that maybe Jason has served time, or had run-ins with law enforcement before. There's another theory going around that Jason actually may be an undercover unit or an undercover officer for some sort of a law enforcement agency in the game. So, a few different things there that could be, with that quote that it could mean. And I'm sure we'll come to find out in the story.
You might have.
And he says you might have. So, that could hint that Jason is either undercover, has been in law enforcement, has been arrested and been in this prison. It's tough to say. Lucia coming out here, got her street clothes on. Her shirt says something about, I went down on, it looks like some sort of a ride possibly, maybe hinting at something that's in a theme park in the Grand Theft Auto 6 world that we may or may not be able to ride on. So looking forward to find out more information on that.
Hey.
So obviously it seems like they, have some sort of pass together. He's there to pick her up, and it was very casual as he's there. However, he's the only one there, so there's no family there while she gets out, which makes me think that she may not be from the area, or that, there's some sort of a reason she's cut off from the past with her parents or, other family. So next scene here, we see them in bed together. So obviously some sort of a relationship that's developed between these two, whether it happened before she was in prison or happens after. Again, just something that we'll find out in the story. Very good detail here with the light coming in through the window and all the shadow work. You can see that she still has her ankle bracelet on. So this is obviously after she gets out of prison. As to why she has it there, we're going to assume probably some sort of probation. And we'll find that out as we continue to go through the game. See the fan blade spinning back there. So jump to a scene from what looks like a heist here. Something National Bank. Looks like a pretty high-end bank. These guys are in suits. They've got security lockdown in effect in their systems. Oh, right here. Sin Frontera, maybe. It's hard to tell with that box covering the letters. So this is probably going to be something that I would assume is later in the game, once they have progressed through their different heists and jobs and stuff like that. I would assume that they're not going to jump into a big job like this especially with, you know, the face masks and maybe something to this level right after she gets out of prison.
You stay.
So that was them, you know, they're in bed again. So we're definitely seeing some sort of relationship develop. As to what it is, it's tough to say, but it's something that we'll find out as the game progresses.
The new beginning.
We've got another kind of beer here. I'm not quite sure what that says. Something Deho. And again, you know, just the detail. You can see the actual like carbonation bubbles in the beer there. Again, he's got the watch on. I don't recall what time the watch said before, but if it says a different time there, you know, that'll be again like I was talking about, the detail of as the game, you know, as the day progresses, maybe the watch will update. Looks like they're at some sort of like an outdoor bar. Got some other people over here. Some detail, maybe towards like a beach or something. Yeah, so here we go. We've got the Lure Predator or something here. The Predator's a boat that I believe we've seen before in other Grand Theft Auto games. So another detail I wanted to point out here was just the reflections in the water. Very, you know, very detailed, very lifelike, with the lighting and just the overall textures in the game. The rope here all looks very, very detailed. We've got more birds in the background here. Looks like some sort of a cell tower. Can't tell what this is behind him here. So we'll keep going. So here's more open water. So got a few jet skis, got multiple boats out here. You can see more animals, you know, ducks or geese, something like that on the water. Got more birds flying over here. So just a lot of detail going on here. Back it up here. It goes so quick, it's hard to pause sometimes. So Brian's Boat Works in a marina. You can see they're loading up. Plane here. Plane looks very familiar to ones we've seen in Grand Theft Auto games, in, you know, previous games. So, but again, the detail, the lighting and everything looks amazing here. You know, you can see his back is just kind of lit up. You can tell the front of this person is lit up from these lights that are coming off. One thing that I'm curious about too is we're seeing a lot of phone numbers in the game. So I'm curious if they're going to put a lot of work into those phone numbers, that if we call them, if they actually go to something, or if they're just phone numbers that are fluff in the game. And that's something that we'll have to find out as we play. You can see, can't tell what this says exactly, but, you know, advertisement for the motor company, and another sign there. Looks like they're loading something up into this plane. So I would assume that this business is some sort of a front for, you know, drugs or money laundering, something. And they're loading up on the plane to transport it to somewhere. Got a couple boats, it looks like, here on the left-hand side. Some more people working in the warehouse. I think that sign said Vulcan. Yeah, Vulcan Marine, maybe, or Marina. So more branding there.
Trust me.
So we've got what looks to be Lucia here doing some community service with an officer. So I would assume some sort of community service or parole work that she has to do once she gets out of the prison in the game. We've got a no dumping sign here. Lots of trash items specifically. So again, they've worked very hard on creating that real life look and feel with the amount of stuff. It's not just one trash bag that we're seeing here or one can. It's just, you know, more lifelike. Again, we've got some broken down wood or something over here. Female officer standing with a clipboard. It looks like 1, 2,
This place is just
3 people picking up trash. You can see she's got a hat on for what looks to be that Brian's business again. So some sort of affiliation with that business. I think we're going to see multiple times throughout the game and throughout the storyline.
the start for us. For us. Trust me, this place is just the start for us.
She says this place is just the start for us. So it looks like this is a place that they're living in together. Looks like some sort of a house or maybe an apartment. Got a few different stickers over here on the sign. We've got a cage here with what looks to be maybe a snake in it. So maybe one of their pets specifically. Again, you know, the details. We've got earrings. We've got the necklace. You know, water bottles, all that type of stuff is just adding to the realism. So next thing here, we've got Refill your drink here if you puke you clean. So just some, you know, fun signs for the bar. But we've also got this. It says Hurricane Roxy. And it says Hurricane Roxy was this strong, maybe? It's hard to say. But this makes me wonder if we're going to see some sort of like a, you know, weather events in the game. We didn't have a ton of them in Grand Theft Auto 5. Very basic in my opinion. Red Dead Redemption 2, they did a lot better job of, you know, giving you that real feel when it came to the storms and stuff like that. And being that this is in Florida, I wouldn't be surprised if we see some sort of a natural disaster event, whether it's randomized in the game when it happens or if it may be part of the storyline, something we'll see. Got a lot of license plates hung around the wall here, very typical decoration for, you know, bars and stuff like that. Got a lot of different drinks down here, which is cool to see. So, and a lot more drinks in the coolers. So each one of those individual items just again comes back down to that detail. Got different signs for the beers. Got a good amount of people in here.
The only thing that matters is who.
Fresh fish every day. So more signs here, more artwork. Looks like a TV up here with some advertisements. Patriot beer there. Quite a few people dancing. Over here, we've got some sort of a poster for an event, August 24th, which is very interesting. I remember that the game was originally supposed to come out at some point this year. That makes me wonder if maybe that was the date they were shooting for. Random guess, but you never know. So it looks like they've got some sort of event going on that day. It's got 7 p.m. till late. Music to make you cry. The Rusty Anchor, maybe the name of the bar they're at.
You know, and what you got.
So looks like Jason Lucia here dressed up very nice. Some sort of an event, whether they're out just having fun or maybe they're for intel for some sort of a heist or something. Looks like this may be on a yacht. Got a few people over here. Good amount of people in this scene. So more AI and, you know, pedestrians than what we've seen in a game prior.
Gonna do this? We're doing it right.
And he talks about there, if they're going to do this, they're going to do it right. So that makes me think that they're planning on, you know, some sort of a heist or getting something going. Probably part of the storyline. This looks like maybe the same night, dressed up the same. They're at 919, I believe is the name of the bar, or the club, which I believe is based off of a place that's real in the Florida area. Again, lots of people, nightclub style. So if we go back here, the detail again is just what I'm looking at here and really appreciating. You know, got the necklaces, got all the tattoos. Looks like we've got a stack of games or something over here. Got a couple cases back here, and you know, you can just see the dust and the wear on the items. Everything doesn't look brand new. Just giving that, you know, real feel to it. Got those guys there. Not sure who these guys are quite yet, but probably something in the story. Again, just the detail in the towel. Looks like we got some sort of graffiti or something on the wall over here.
And they got your name, address.
Looks like they, you know, this is some sort of a break-in or a heist or something. They're jumping out the back window. It's quite the fall, actually. Looks like they may have jumped from the third floor. If I back us up here. Yeah. So it looks like they jumped down from the third floor. The windows are barred up, so that must have been their only way out or in. Looks like a window AC or something may have fallen out.
Name, address, they got everything.
Here we've got this gentleman talking to Jason in what looks to be like some sort of a workshop area. Whether this is where Jason works or if it's someone's house, we don't know.
Got everything.
So we've got a few different guys coming in here with law enforcement vests on that say police. So I've heard a couple ideas that maybe there's some sort of a ring of bad cops in the game. I don't know if that's what we're seeing here, that maybe are working with Jason and Lucia on some sort of heist or something. Maybe what we're seeing.
Us cops, we gotta protect each other.
So yeah, they're talking about protecting each other, which could mean that, you know, they're doing right and they're looking out for each other, or that they're doing wrong and they're working together on some sort of a heist or something. We've got a guy with an earpiece in here and what looks to be maybe some sort of a you know, maybe exterminator suit or something, welding suit, tough to say, but maybe in relation to a heist or something. Got his badge around the neck there, maybe some sort of a bag full of money, coffee cup, all that type of stuff sitting out over here.
Each other.
So here he goes shooting out of the car. You can see that he's actually leaning out of the car as he shoots, so that's something that, you know, more detail, I believe, in Grand Theft Auto 5, when you shot out of a car, you just kind of stuck your arm out the window, where this, again, just adds more to that feel. So we can see here that they're at the, I believe it says Starlit Motel. So I don't know if this is just a place that they happen to show up and take care of business at. Looks like we've got a car on fire in the background. We may find out this is a place that Jason and Lucia are living in the game at some point. It's tough to say for sure. But again, you know, just lots of trees, very populated, very alive feeling. Got a business truck of some kind back here. Some sort of an older car here.
You and me, bro.
Looks like Lucia is doing some sort of like kickbox training or something like that.
You and me,
Go
bro.
here.
We got this.
We got it.
They're talking about they got this, so maybe they're planning some sort of a heist together. It looks like that she's got some sort of a grenade launcher in the back of a vehicle here. Blew up a cop car, got like a Bearcat or something here. And then maybe, yeah, like a Ford Explorer designed cop car over here. Got the highway bridges going across here. You can see this is a fairly good size interchange of what I'm assuming are going to be some major roadways. We've got a sign here for Fun Has No Borders for Lavazas. Some sort of an alcoholic drink, I'm assuming. Got some billboards up here, cars up on this way here. They must have just watched something crazy on his phone there. Manatees, this is, I believe, some sort of a recreation of like a Dolphins team. Got a dog sitting up back here, a couple people walking around. Looks like got a group of ladies looking to go for a run or something over here. More, you know, jewelry, you know, hats, all that type of stuff. So more individual like items attached to characters. So it looks like we got some sort of a situation going on in a plane here. You can see the skyline behind them, and they're falling out onto the doors that usually cover the landing gear. So some sort of a heist or something, I'm assuming. So we got a truck, looks to be a fairly good sized pickup, maybe built off like a Dodge Ram design, dually, pulling what looks to maybe be a safe. So again, you know, whether this is just a regular mission or some sort of a big heist that we do in the game, it's tough to say right now. In the road over here, you can see where the lines are, and like reflectors in the road. So with the lighting in the game, with Rockstar's engine, I think we're going to see a very, very good amount of detail in just the real world, and that they've put a lot of work into the fine things rather than just the big things. So we've got Jason and Lucia in bed here together, it looks like. So definitely some sort of relationship forming. Got what looks to be a phone camera or something of the sorts being used here. So in typical GTA fashion, I'm sure we'll have our cell phone device that we can carry with us, and then using it for photos or something like that to have in the game. So you can see we've got the Dominion Hotel, got a big group of people here hanging out, maybe filming some social media stuff. And again, you know, this is where the liveliness just comes in. You know, we've got all these umbrellas. We've got a lot of people, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, probably 15 or more people just in this scene alone. We've got a car that looks to be maybe built off like a Mercedes S-Class. Got some sort of like a Lamborghini replica back here. Maybe a Ford Explorer. Let's see. No, of course I can't get it to go to where the frame I want it to, but maybe some sort of like a Lexus SUV back here. Like a old Dodge Challenger, Porsche, a Viper replica. I forget that the names of these vehicles are in the game, but just the general idea of the vehicles. Looks like some high-rise apartments, or rooftop apartments, or areas that we may or may not be able to access. Taste the pleasure, I think is what that sign says. So this looks like some sort of a nightclub or strip club that I'm sure we'll be able to attend in the game. Neon lighting, definitely a nighttime scene here. So here it is again, definitely some sort of a strip club. throwing dollar bills up here. Phil's Ammunition. So Phil, I believe, was a gun dealer back in GTA Vice City. Maybe even one of the older games than that. We've got an advertisement for him here on a TV with what looks to be a replica or like a knockoff PlayStation 5 with a DualShock 4 controller. Got, you know, some power tools back here. Looks like they're based off of like a DeWalt color design. We've got 2 different drinks here, which this is a cool detail because you can see that this one's been open for a little bit, halfway drank, got a little foam on the top and not as many bubbles, where over here looks like this is a freshly opened beer with a good amount of carbonation bubbles working their way up in the bottle, and kind of has that frosted look, which makes me think that it's a little bit colder. So again, just the detail that they're putting in here. From this scene, you know, we've got 10 or so different guns on the wall, plus what he's holding. So I'm assuming that we're going to have a very wide range of firearms to use inside the game. And I'm sure just like GTA 5 will have multiple ammunition stores across the map. This one's saying Phil's Ammunition makes me wonder if we're going to see down to the level like different owners where they have slightly different names. Again, just more and more of the detail things that Rockstar is working on. Today. We got more guns than a lot. So a lot more guns over here. You can see, you know, some SMGs. He's got what looks to be there like an LMG, AR style, like M4 or M16. Stands up there with that gun shooting off the roof, protecting your rights, Phil's Ammunition. So yeah, definitely going to be a popular place in Grand Theft Auto 6. Looks like Lucia just came home from her, you know, community service or whatever it is. Comes down. There's those drinks again. Jason's asleep on the couch. There's their pet snake again. LDC. So be curious to see what that may. Probably Leonida or whatever the name of the town is. Something. Department of Corrections maybe. Can see her. She's still got the ankle bracelet on. So definitely in parole at the moment.
Hey.
Which I think we're going to come to find out is probably for a good chunk of the game, for what it's looking like as of right now. Looks like we've got a Buzzard, I believe is the name of the helicopter. So this is more like the wetlands area of the map, it feels like. Got the helicopter, got the LMGs with the guns on it here, couple boats. Lots of grass area here. So it looks like we got an airboat, which is something that I'm not sure we've seen before in the game. Very good detail in the helicopter here. You can see all the different dials and switches, and the sun reflection coming off the window there. So here we've got them partying it up on a jet ski, it looks like. Got a big yacht in the background with a ton of people on it. Got some floaties, got another jet ski sitting here. Maybe like a buoy or something there. It's hard to say for sure. And a good view of the skyline behind us. Helicopter up in the air here. So we've got him riding a motorcycle here with what looks to be an older style. Got more of like a yellow color here to the headlight, which is something that I think is found more typically in like older motorcycles. Got a lot of great reflections off the chrome work here. Got some power lines, and then got some sort of a plane here. I'm not sure what this may be called in game, but it looks like it's set up to be on like water skis. So looks like we may have the ability to land some planes on water. I'm curious if we'll come to find out that there's more than one airport in the game. There was the 2 in Grand Theft Auto 5. You know, you had the main city airport, and then you had the one up in Sandy Shores. So looks like we're doing some sort of a heist where we jump into the back of a truck here. You can see it looks like a semi. We've got what looks to be a car based off of a newer Corvette. We've got Liberty City. I think that says Liberty City. License plate there. And then what looks to be like maybe the rear end of like a Camaro type vehicle in the back here. And we're jumping into the trailer. So I'm assuming some sort of a heist mission here. So we've got the Mega Mundo. Maybe a hotel or something over here. Lots of high-rise skyscrapers and lots of detail too. You know, a lot of these lights are on, making it feel just even more real. Jason Lucia, what looks to be like a hotel or apartment here. So definitely showing some affection here. So we're going to see that relationship build more and more. Looks like we got just some basic, notations that would typically be in a hotel room. Just adding to that realistic feel. We got a police helicopter there. Does it say Vice Dale maybe? Tough to say with the reflections and stuff. But I'm assuming that we're going to see a couple different branches of law enforcement in the game. Maybe like a police, some sort of maybe like a county sheriff. I'm sure we'll see FIB in the game as we have many times before. And maybe some sort of like a, maybe a state patrol or something like that. It's tough to say for sure. Very, very good detail in the waters here. You can see all the individual droplets that are coming off as the boat's going through it. Again, just more and more of that detail work as we go through. So we've got some sort of a scene going on here. You can see we've got a lot of the street signs, got street lights that are hung out here. Some sort of a dirt bike, looks like Gellhorn, maybe a hotel or like a motel. Crossroad, what did that say? Crossroad Park, mini mall. So like a little strip mall, it looks like. Got something about a port over here. Very similar recreation of the scene of when Jimmy tries to sell his dad's car in GTA 5, how he has to jump back into the moving car. Got an auto parts store, says it's open. Makes you wonder if we're going to have even more in-depth vehicle customization than we had in GTA 5. I'd love to see that because the, cars are an endless possibility of, options and stuff like that when it comes to colors and accessories, wheels, tires, all that type of stuff. So I'm hoping that that Rockstar has given us the ability to have even more in-depth customization than we've had before. Because we had not very much customization. That was our option in Grand Theft Auto 4. Grand Theft Auto 5 was a big difference in that, and I'm hoping that they've taken it even that next step in Grand Theft Auto 6.
Hey, if you got friends, can you hook me?
So we've got another character here. I'm not sure what his name is. Drinking a beer. Looks like they're at Brian's Motorworks and Marines again. Or Boatworks and Marine. I forget what it's called there. But again, looks like lots of toolboxes. We got a lot of guys working on it. So this is going to be some sort of a front of, I'm assuming, like drug running or something in the game. And we're probably going to be spending a good amount of time here. They're working on a boat. May have something in the background here. Tough to say for sure. Another sign up here. Tool carts. Again, just a lot of that smaller stuff to make it feel like it's really there.
Please.
So we've got what looks to be maybe another angle of a similar scene from the original trailer. They're in the car. They're driving into the town or into the city over a bridge here with quite a bit of detail, which is good to see. In the water, got another boat there. Lots of houses here. Very decorative, like wall decorations, the street lighting, and a lot of decorations in the trees here. And that's it. So lots of details to cover here in the new trailer. I'm very excited for it. We do have the official date that they're going for, May 26th. So being that there's been the one delay now, I personally am not going to expect another delay. I remember Grand Theft Auto 5 was delayed for, I don't remember if it was like 6 or 8 months, maybe even longer. This is definitely a longer delay. And we had a long time in between the first two trailers for this, which it was significantly more than I believe we had with the GTA 5. I was a lot younger then, so I don't remember as much the detail, but with how long it's been in between now, and how long they've been working on it, I'm very hopeful that we don't see another delay. You can see we've got Xbox Series X and S and PS5. So there's no talks about the game coming out on PC right at release. I doubt we will see it on PC at release, as much more resource heavy as the PC games typically are. I think it's going to be a while before we see a PC release, just like it was with GTA 5. And one of the coolest parts about this whole thing is you can see that this was taken on or captured on the PS5. And the other thing that I've seen, Rockstar made a post online, I believe on Twitter, and they said that this entire second trailer was all from actual gameplay or cutscenes in the actual game, and it was all captured from a PS5. So if that's how it's looking on a PS5 in the trailer, every other game that they've done, the trailers looked good, and then the game looked even better. GTA 5, Red Dead Redemption 2. So if it already looks this good, I'm extremely hopeful and very much looking forward to what the actual finished product is going to look like. With Rockstar using their own Rage engine, it has allowed them to do a lot of things that I don't think a lot of other companies can meet the same standards. So they're doing a great job. Anyways, that's about all I was going to look over here in this video. Again, I'm super, super excited. Really hopeful that we start to find out some more information as time goes on. There was a lot of screenshots released, so I'm going to pull this up real quick. Let's see here. So if I scroll through here, we've got Grand Theft Auto 6. We've got coming May 26th, 2026. PS5, Xbox Series X. Again, no mention of PC here. Scroll down. So Vice City, Jason and Lucia have always known the deck is stacked against them, but with where an easy score goes wrong, they find themselves on the darkest side of the sunniest place in America in the middle of a criminal conspiracy stretching across the state of Leonida. Again, this is based off Florida as far as we know. Forced to rely on each other more than ever if they want to make it out alive. So sounds like that they, may have had a rough past trying to get out of it, and then they have, something that happens that brings them back into that rough past. We don't know for sure. We've got Hotel Dixon here. Looks like Ocean View Hotel. So I'm assuming this is going to be in a more busy part of the map. We've got a Sentinel vehicle here. I'm assuming this is some sort of a cab of some kind. Looks like we got bike lanes, so might be something we see as bicyclists in the game. Maybe the ability to even ride one. Looks like we've actually got a bicycle right here. Someone mentioned that this is actually a very interesting take on how these screenshots are posted, because we've got Jason Duval, and then it talks about him here. And if you keep scrolling, where'd it go? Yeah. So someone said something about maybe the ability to choose which character we play as if it's not both, with how they have this set up here. Scroll back up. So Jason wants to live life, but things just keep getting harder. Grew up around grifters and crooks. After a stint in the army trying to shake off his troubled teens, he found himself in the Keys doing what he knows best, working for local drug runners. Might be time to try something new. So maybe he's been working for this drug runner for a long time and he wants to go do something different. And that's kind of the story we follow. You can see different clothing items here, different beer, watch. Looks like we got a money clip, some sort of a neon sign. So again, just all the details. Let's see here. If anything happens, I'm right behind you. So looks like they're going to be working together for the majority of the story. Very Bonnie and Clyde style, which is what we've expected since day one. Another day in paradise, right? Meeting Lucia could be the best or worst thing to happen to him. Jason knows how he'd like it to turn out, but right now it's hard to tell. Couple screenshots here. We've got what looks to be a standard M16 style gun here. So I'm very excited for the different weapons that we have. I'm assuming we're going to see the similar, I forget the name of it off the top of my head right now, but a similar phone system to what we've seen before. Maybe updated, as cell phones have changed over time. Another wristwatch there. We've got a character holding a fishing pole here, which makes me wonder if we're going to see a lot more lifestyle activities like fishing available to us in the game. So we'll be excited to see that. Lucia's father taught her to fight as soon as she could walk. Life's been coming at her swinging ever since. Fighting for her family landed her in the penitentiary. Sheer luck got her out. She's learned her lesson. Only smart moves from here. And we'll see how true that is. Looks like she's training here in some sort of a club. We've got what looks to be an AirPod replica here in her ear, and then the same thing here. One thing that could mean is the ability to listen to music outside of a vehicle, which I think would be kind of cool. Very, modern with today's day and age with headphones and stuff like that. Looks like this is her in prison. More than anything, Lucia wants the good life her mom has dreamed of since her days in Liberty City. So sounds like her or her family are from Liberty City. But instead of half-baked fantasies, Lucia is prepared to take matters into her own hands. So go down here. She's kind of leaning her head out the window. Only thing that matters is who you know and what you got. So nightlife here, you can see all the buildings lit up in the background. Got a reflection or something off the back of the car. Life with Jason could be her way out. Fresh out of prison, she's ready to change her odds in her favor. She's committed to her plan no matter what it takes. So we got a few other screenshots here. More detail, some detail of the gun there showing 9mm. Looks like she's sitting on a motorcycle in front of some bar. This may or may not be the same thing we saw them jump out of in the trailer. Tough to say for sure. Just little artwork here, them laying together in bed. It looks like after some sort of a heist or something. Only in Leonida, where the sun fades and the neon glows, everyone has something to gain and more to lose. So Cal Hampton, that's who that character is. What if everything on the internet was true? Jason's friend and fellow associate of Brian, so yeah, they work for Brian. Cal feels safest hanging at home, snooping on Coast Guard comms with a few beers and some private browser tabs open. So a little bit of detail there that we may or may not want to know about Cal. I'm sure that'll play some fun in the story. Lots of tattoos, beer, sitting on a boat looks like. Here they are from the game. Violence is cool. Thanks, video games. Looks like some sort of an alien figure again on the shirt. Looks like maybe a blow-up crocodile or something back there, like a carnival. Looks like they're playing mini golf. So that'd be pretty cool if that was an activity in the game. Looks like here might be on a boat. It looks like with the plane flying over. There might be way too many birds flying around in perfect formation. Here he is drinking more beer, playing some pool, laying out on or in the pool by the looks of it on a floaty. The psychopaths are in charge. Get used to it. Cal is now at the low tide of America and happy there. Casual paranoia leaves company, but his friend Jason has bigger plans. So sounds like they'll be working together at some point. Visit Leonida. Tour a few of the must-see destinations across the Sunshine State. So here's a great shot of Vice City. So if we open this up, everything in excess, we're a long way from the 80s, but Vice City is still the sun and fun capital of America. So sounds like this is definitely going to be a present-day setting, not in the past. Very good view of the skyline here, just showing how big the city is going to actually be and how big the map is going to be, because this is only one part of the map from what we know as of right now. The port, cruise ship capital of the world, so we'll probably see some cruise ships come in and out of the game. Whether that's part of the story or not, who's to say? Got a screenshot here of someone hanging out on the balcony with a private pool near the beach. Got a plane flying over what looks to be the Vice International Airport. We've got a basketball court down here, so probably an activity we'll be able to do. Got some blinged out teeth up here, maybe some character customization options. Got some people playing on the beach here. We've got a four-wheeler in the background, a lot of different people playing. It looks like football. Just showing the vast, I guess I didn't realize that these blew up here. Vast, majority, a lot of different people in the map set up here. People jogging, people tanning out on the bed there. Looks like these ladies got themselves caught up in some trouble with the Vice Beach police. Got a taxi cab in the back. There's that Hotel Dixon, I'm assuming, again. Let's see here. This definitely looks like a club setting. Yep. Throwing money around. Be curious to see if we have like a money system where in GTA Online how you had the cash that you had to like deposit in the ATMs. I'll be curious if that's something that we actually see brought into the main game itself. Got a great shot of the skyline here. We've got a big cruise ship in the back. This is definitely the port. Maybe some sort of an arena here. Concert hall. So just part of the city. And then this one here, we've got a lot of dirt bikes and quads. Looks like some off-roading vehicles. Got a Camaro style. So we're going to see a lot of vehicle customization, I think, in the vehicle. Got some advertisements from Man Beer. Tough to say what these spell out. You can see we've got PER. Not sure what that may spell out there. So we'll go back. Scroll down. Bobby Ike, it's all about the heart, the Jack of Hearts. Local Vice City legend, acts like it, one of the few to transform his time in the streets into a legitimate empire spanning real estate, a strip club, and a recording studio. I started right wrong. It's Booby Ike. Booby's all smiles until it's time to talk business. So I don't know if that's leading into, more storyline, or if we're going to see the option to run those types of businesses maybe as a passive form of income for us as the main character. It's tough to say. So just some more screenshots here. You can see holding a wad of cash, gun sitting on the table there. Jack of Hearts poster. Strip club. Yeah, just some more character detail. The club money pay for the studio and the drug money pay for it all. So yeah, definitely got some either money laundering, or different forms of business as passive or active income. Let's see here. Jack of Hearts, so definitely a strip club. It says adult entertainment. That's what my guess would be. Bouncers there. Yep, so throwing a bunch of money around. Be curious to see if that's something that, like I said, with the loose cash, if we'll be able to throw out individual bills or anything. Tough to say. Leonardo Keys. So this is based off the Florida Keys in the game. Dress code is casual. The bars are loaded. Keep going here. Most beautiful and dangerous waters in all of America. So we've got a great shot here. You can see the skyline in the back. You can see all the water. We've got a highway, it looks like, that runs through. Got a plane. Tons of boats. Looks like it's some off-roading here with this truck. Good variety, good feel. Got a lady on a scooter. Got more animals here. Got an iguana. Got what looks to be a dog back there. Wonder Whale, maybe. Chip's Body Shop. Advertisements for a boat store. Probably all stuff that we'll be able to acquire in the game. Rusty Anchor. Some sort of a bar, it looks like, in the area. Crab Festival. Fresh food, music, and special drink menu. What looks like it says there. Again, more wildlife sitting up here at the top. Beautiful shot of underwater in the game. So we've got some fish. We've got turtles. We've got divers. So the wildlife is definitely going to be a big change, I think, in this game compared to what we've seen in previous Grand Theft Auto installments. This is a great shot here that just shows the amount of people. So we've got 3 or 4 people over here, 4 people on this boat, actually 5 with a foot laying there. So we're going to see a lot more AI, I think, in the open world, just making it feel even more realistic, as Florida is such a busy place. Be tough to say if all of these types of boats will be drivable by us, but either way, cool to see them out there as more options. Draquan Priest, only raw records. Was always more of a hustler than a gangster, even when he was dealing on the streets to make ends meet. Breaking into music was the goal. So some sort of music career, maybe something to do with the records or the recording studio we talked about. Looks like some screenshots from the club. Something dreams. Got some people hanging out in the pool, it looks like, down here. Dancers are like my A&Rs. If the record's a hit, DJ's going to be spinning it. So, recording studio. Yeah, lots of great detail here. Only raw records. So, probably some storyline there are going to be spent there. Here at the label now that he's signed the real dimes. Draquan's days of booking acts into Booby's strip club might be numbered as he sets a sight on the Vice City scene. Grass Rivers. Here's an area I'm very much looking forward to. The untamable jewel of Leonidas' crown. You'll never know what lies beneath the surface of this primordial expanse. The gators may be the most famous attraction, but there are far deadlier predators and wilder discoveries among the mangroves. So, got some people here. Looks like hunting alligators. Lots of different types of guns here. Beer. Go figure. On an airboat. This is a really cool shot showing what looks to be some sort of either like a shopping center or a hotel motel. Tough to say for sure. Something house right here. Backwards. We've got what looks to be a port that either deconstructed or is getting constructed. I'll be curious to see if that's something that happens over time in the game. Got some boats back here, more wildlife, got a water tower. You can see the skyline in the back, so this gives us a really good idea for how big the map is truly going to be. This is going to be a game that it takes you a long time to really see the entire thing, and I really appreciate that. Got the gator here on the airboat. Looks like they're hunting the gators. Got what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them surrounding the boat there, so could make for an interesting situation. Looks like some sort of a chase, whether it's with DNR or like a sheriff or police department. Tough to say. Got the gators on the back of the truck here. Looks like they're either stealing them or maybe some illegal hunting. Don't know for sure. Got some sort of a bird over here, whether it's a flamingo or cranes or something. More birds up here in the sky. Go back here. Real Dimes, viral videos, viral hooks. I believe this is the same group that we saw in the initial trailer doing some filming. Been friends since high school. Girls with the savvy to turn their time, shaking down local dealers into cold hard cash via spicy rap tracks and a relentless social media presence. So I think we're going to see a rendition of like TikTok or something in the game, which would be kind of cool to see. Looks like some more time in the studio. Cruising in a car there. All my dimes in this club, meet my twin, make it a dub. So yeah, there they are dancing on a car. Looks to be some sort of a Audi R8 deal. Looks like there's some sort of famous or popular because they've got some people surrounding them there having a little bit of a party. Here they are spending some time in the studio with the microphones. One hit away from fame, an early hit single with the local rapper Down. I'm not even sure how to say that. Took Real Dimes into new heights. Now after 5 years of a whole lot of trouble, they are signed to Only Raw Records, hoping lightning can strike twice. Port Gellhorn. Live hard. Leonidas Forgotten Coast. Cheap motels, shut down attractions, and empty strip malls won't bring the tourists back, but there's a new economy in this once popular vacation spot filled by malt liquor, painkillers, and truck stop energy drinks. Jump on a dirt bike and hold on to your wallet. So this is probably where a lot of the shady business goes down. In the rundown strip malls and stuff like that. Let's see here. So yeah, definitely got some drugs or something growing here. Got the Starlit Motel. King size bed, low rates. Got some sort of what looks to be a new vehicle here. We got a pool. Looks like they're doing some sort of filming or taking photos of some kind down here. Pretty rundown area by the looks of it. Oh yeah, definitely got some drugs going on here. Delights, new girls, new food, open all night, hiring dancers. So probably some sort of another strip club in the game. A lot of different vehicles shown here. We got some trucks, big tires, big wheels. Got a smaller truck, older cars, a little bit newer cars. So great variety, I think, that we're going to see throughout the game. This looks like some sort of a hangout, barbecue, maybe out in the country. Got a good amount of people here. Lots of detail on the, drinks in the cooler, the tattoos, the hair on his arms and chest. We'll go back here. Raul Bautista. Experience counts. Confidence, charm, and cunning. Raul, he's a seasoned bank robber, always on the hunt for talent. So this guy might be someone that we maybe work with throughout multiple bank heists throughout the game. Screenshot there. Him on a yacht, the city in the background. Bridge going up. That's actually a cool detail. So I think that's something that we'll see happening in the game, whether it's something that we can trigger or that's just random or both. Be kind of a cool thing and just, again, that more live feel. Great detail on the boat here with all the switches and everything. Life's full of surprises, my friend. I think we'd all be wise to remember that. So got definitely some sort of a heist or something going on here. You can see the multiple different cop cars in the back. Lots of shooting going on. Yeah, some sort of a heist. Great vehicle detail here. You can see all the indications on the screen, all the different apps, all the different labeled buttons. More people. Some sort of an outdoor hangout spot. Professional adapts. Raul's recklessness raises the stakes with every score. Sooner or later, his crew will have to double down or pull their chips from the table. Ambrosia. So this is, so we got 1. I'm going to go back here. 2, 3, 4, 5 different areas so far that they've showed in this. So the map is going to be huge in this game. It's going to take a long time to explore it all. So, keeping Leonidas sweet, the battle for health and wealth of Leonidas begins here. American industry, school values, reign supreme. Okay, so biker gangs, so definitely giving off like a Lost and Damned feel in this. Great detail with the signs. So there's the sheriff's office. So we definitely have sheriff in the area. Leaves sitting out here in the road. Looks like a gas station. One thing that I would love to see if they did in this game for the realism is the vehicles needing gas. I know that might not be everybody's thing, but if they're going for a real feel, I would absolutely love to see that as an option in the game. More detail here, just another screenshot. So you got a motorcycle, enforcer, probably some sort of a gang. Got a revolver here, 357, and the lady here behind him. Great sunset. You got what looks to be some fields burning here, whether that's part of a mission or like a wildfire. Tough to say for sure, but either way, great detail. Beautiful shot. And then we got what looks to be some sort of like a bikini car wash. I'm assuming this will be one thing we see many of throughout the game. Brian Heder, nothing better than a mud side at sunset. Classic drug runner from the golden age, smuggling in the Keys, still moving product with his boatyard. With his third wife, Lori, Brian's been around long enough to let others do his dirty work. So, yeah, sounds like we'll be helping out Brian with a lot of those jobs. Yes, there's a brick of what I'm assuming is probably cocaine or something. In a plane, you can see the yoke here and the earpiece. Got the wing. Whether it's a private airport or the main airport in the city, we don't know yet. Amazing detail on his face here. You got the reflection in the sunglasses even. Got all the individual hairs coming up. Rockstar has really done a great job making this feel very real. I held so much grass in that plane I could make the state of Leonida levitate. Interesting. Probably talking about marijuana or something similar. Looks like a nighttime scene kind of on the pier or near like a boat dock. Handing over a gun. Got the watch here. 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I don't recall what that time was we saw earlier. But again, another detail I'd love to see if we have the watch in game. Some sort of a handgun here. Tough to say what it's based off of. Could be based off of a Glock or like a Sig Sauer. It's tough to say for sure. Looks like a Leonida Beach bum moves like a great white shark. Brian's letting Jason live rent-free at one of his properties. Okay, so we did find that out. Okay. So long as he helps with the local shakedowns and stops for Lori Sangria once in a while. Okay. So we do have another area. So we have Mount Kalunga National Park. This looks really cool. You can see already just from this first shot, we've got a lot of wildlife here in the area. National landmark up against the state's northern border. Mount Kalunga offers prime hunting, fishing, and off-road trails. In the lush surrounding backwoods, hillbilly mystics and paranoid radicals live far away from prying eyes of the government. So this is something that sounds like there might be some shady business going on. If they're far from the government, might be a place that we go to make certain deals or something. So we've got... Not sure what this is behind us. Maybe some sort of like a refinery or something. Tough to say for sure. Got dirt bikes though, quads, got a raccoon running around here, more wildlife. Helicopter with a camera, so probably something we'll see pretty often. This is a news helicopter. Got the highway down here behind it. Lots of good scenery here. Okay, so these guys look like they might be out hunting. Yeah, so we've got what looks to be maybe a deer here with the antlers. There's a squirrel on the side of the tree there. Got some sort of like a bolt action rifle, commonly used for like deer hunting. And then a shotgun, something else that's maybe a shotgun there, tough to say. Shotguns, rifles, very commonly used for deer hunting. Beautiful area here. So we've got roadway that kind of goes through the mountains here. Got some more birds flying. Maybe a railroad track. So it'd be kind of cool if we had a train as a transportation mode in the game. Maybe a fast travel from locations. Got plenty of motorcycles or dirt bikes coming down here. Looks like a semi hauling something up the road. Got wildlife here on the right. Maybe some more of it up here. Yeah, here we go. So a couple different things of wildlife here. Got what looks to be maybe like a cheetah or something. Maybe a lion, mountain lion, and some deer. Amazing detail in the reflections here on the water. I mean, you can see the reflection of the deer head. The deer standing here, absolutely beautifully done. Got some kayaks or canoes. Yeah, there's a train up there. So water's not very deep here. Be something to see. Maybe it fluctuates over time. That'd be pretty cool. Again, just beautiful detail, making the world feel very alive. Someone out kayaking, whether it's something that we can do or not, tough to say, but never say never. So we'll go back here. And we're closing the trunk. All right. So there it is. GTA 6 coming May 26th, 2026. Yeah, I cannot express how excited I am for this. I'm very, very much looking forward to the game. It's going to be an absolutely wonderful experience. I just really hope that it lives up to the expectations. But from everything that I've seen, I really think it's going to. So yeah, I guess now we just wait for more information from Rockstar. I mean, the amount of screenshots we got with the trailer release was incredible. I think it was 70 something that we received, letting us see a lot of insight into the game. And now knowing that there's those 5 or 6 different areas of the map, I think that's something that shows really well what we're going to expect for the map size. I mean, I know it was going to be big. I'm not concerned how big it's going to be, but I'm very curious how large the map is going to be and how long it may take to traverse from one area of the map to another in the game, which is going to be really cool because, you know, in the older games, you can make it from one side to the other in a fairly decent amount of time, where now they might be shooting for a more realistic feel, where it might take real time, 30 minutes or more to make it from one part of the map to the other, which just makes you feel more even involved in the game. So that's about all I'm going to cover on this one. Got just the different people here, the place. Yeah, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different places there. Got the 2 trailers here. So yeah, so December 4th, 2023 to May 6th. So almost a year and a half, just a month short of a year and a half. Then you can download, looks like the video. Oh, there's artwork and stuff we can download, so that's pretty cool. I'll have to check that out. So yeah. I hope everyone is looking forward to this as much as I am. It's going to be an absolutely wonderful game. It's going to be something that I play for a very, very long time. So appreciate you guys checking out this video. Hope you guys are excited as I am for this game. It's going to be pretty freaking sweet. So we'll see what Rockstar releases next, and we'll go from there. So thanks for checking this video out, guys. Have a wonderful day.